started thinking, what does it mean to have an indomitable spirit? Well, indomitable means impossible to subdue or defeat. So what does it take to embody this trait? How do you go on when the world constantly shoves in your face that you're nothing, that you don't matter, that you don't belong, that no matter how much you look on the bright side, you'll always be on the outside? How do you push past this and not only prove everyone wrong, but also summon the strength, courage, perseverance, and resilience to save the day and be the town hero? The top dog and wolf, if you will? Well, let's ask our good friend Balto.
Listen in with Lindsey.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Listen In with Lindsey. I'm your host, Lindsey, and today we're diving deep into one of the most inspiring, heartwarming, and maybe even a little heartbreaking animated films of the 90s, Balto. You guys remember Balto, right? The one where the scrappy half-wolf, half-dog becomes the unlikely hero of a small Alaskan town? Yeah, that Balto. Before we get started, if you love a good underdog story, if you're all about persistence and resilience, and if you want to see a dog or wolf or whatever you want to call him become a true legend, hit that like button, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss any of the epic content we've got lined up for you. And hey, drop a comment below with your favorite moment from Balto. We'll get into that in just a sec, but I want to hear from you. All right, grab your popcorn, snuggle up, and let's talk about why Balto is not just a film about a dog, but a masterclass in persistence, resilience, and fighting for what's right. But first, a quick word from our sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by Gigi and the Giggle Stamp. Get ready to dance, laugh, and sing along with Gigi, the lovable character who's bringing joy to children everywhere. Her brand new song, Gigi and the Giggle Stamp, is out now, and it's guaranteed to bring smiles, giggles, and a whole lot of fun to your little ones. Whether it's playtime, learning, or just winding down, Gigi's catchy tunes and playful energy will fill your home with happiness. Want to be a part of something magical? Head over to gigiandthegigglestamp.com to listen to her latest song and support Gigi's upcoming projects. Let's make learning through music an adventure. Listen now and support future giggles at gigiandthegigglestamp.com. Thanks so much.
We've got something extra special for you. Buckle in because we're going on an epic journey, and I'm not talking about a trip to the corner store, right? No. Today, we're going deep into the story of one of the most legendary underdogs in animation history, Balto. You know, that scrappy half-wolf, half-dog who saved a whole town with nothing but his courage, persistence, and of course, his indomitable spirit. Now, I know what you're thinking. Lindsey, we all remember Balto. It's a movie about a dog who runs through a storm and saves the day. Simple, right? Well, stick with me because we're going to really explore the heart of this story and the lessons that go beyond just the cute puppy moments. We're talking about persistence, resilience, and what it truly means to have an indomitable spirit. So, if you're ready for an inspiring deep dive that's going to make you look at life and Balto in a whole new way, then you'll love this episode of Listen In with Lindsey. As we get into it, think about this. What part of Balto made you want to cheer, cry, or maybe even bark like a dog? Drop your thoughts below and let's talk about all things persistence and resilience. Can't wait to hear from you. All right, let's start at the beginning. Balto is not your typical hero. He's not the traditional man's best friend dog. Oh no, he's a half-wolf, half-dog raised in the harsh cold of Alaska. And from the very first moment we meet him, we realize he's a bit of an outsider. His fur is different, his instincts are different, and his very nature makes him stand out in a world that values conformity. The sled dogs of Nome, Alaska, led by the arrogant Steel, treat him like an outsider, telling him time and time again that he's not enough. And isn't that such a relatable feeling? How many of us have ever felt that way? Like we're just being a little different from everyone else, and it feels like the world won't let us belong, right? I mean, am I right? But here's the thing. This is where Balto's indomitable spirit begins. See, he doesn't just accept being an outsider. He doesn't curl up and hide. He doesn't let Steel or anyone else define him. Instead, he embraces his differences. This is the first lesson we learn from Balto. Your differences don't define your worth. They can actually make you stronger. Isn't that neat? So here's where things start getting real. A diphtheria, I think that's what it's called, diphtheria outbreak threatens the children and people of Nome, and the town is in crisis. The only way to save them is to get the serum from Anchorage, a treacherous 700-mile journey through snow, ice, and blizzards. Now, Balto is standing on the sidelines when the sled dog team sets out to deliver the serum, and it's clear that he's not going to be part of the official mission. Why? Because the town and the other dogs don't believe in him. Steel and the rest of the team are the chosen ones, right? The purebred dogs, the fast and the strong. Balto, well, he's the lone wolf. He's the outsider. Plus, Steel cheated in the race. Let's be so for real. But this is where the story takes a turn, and Balto's resilience is tested. As the team faces more and more obstacles, one by one, the dogs fall short. A deadly storm approaches, and the medicine is nearly lost. The lives of the children and people in Nome are hanging by a thread. This is when Balto makes a choice to act, even though no one has given him permission to do so. Here's the thing. Balto didn't have to go. No one asked him to. Everyone had already given up on him and on the medicine in general. He could have easily turned away and said, "This isn't my problem." But instead, Balto steps up, driven by something more powerful than the need for approval, his heart. He understands that sometimes the true test of a hero isn't about waiting for the right moment or the right opportunity. It's about creating the opportunity to make a difference, even when the odds are stacked against you. And folks, that right there is the definition of resilience. When the world says no, you say, "I'm going anyway." Okay? I got a little sassy there. Now I want to dig into the obstacles Balto faces during his journey. And let's be clear, this isn't just a run through the snow kind of journey. It's brutal, unforgiving, and it constantly tests Balto every bit of the way. His strength, stamina, and spirit. He's fighting against nature itself. Imagine being in the middle of a blizzard, not knowing whether you're heading in the right direction, and yet continuing to move forward. This is where we see what Balto is really made of. He doesn't have the luxury of quitting. There's no other option but to push through step after grueling step. But it's more than just physical obstacles. Balto also faces his inner demons, the self-doubt, the voices telling him that he's not good enough. You're not purebred. You're a wolf, not a dog. You're not fast enough, not strong enough. And yet, Balto chooses to ignore those voices. He refuses to listen to anyone but himself, his instincts, and the drive to do the right thing. So often in life, the biggest obstacles we face aren't external. They're the mental battles we fight. It's the voice that says you can't. It's the little doubts that creep into your head when you try to make a big decision. Balto's journey isn't just about overcoming the storm or the wilderness. It's about overcoming himself. It's about believing in himself when no one else does. And just like Balto, I was thinking we all have that choice. We all face moments where we can choose to listen to the doubts or push through and prove them wrong. And guess what? Every time you choose to move forward, to keep going, you're building your own indomitable spirit. All right, let's take a quick break here. I want you guys to really think about this. Have you ever faced an obstacle that seemed impossible to overcome? Maybe it was a personal challenge, a goal that seemed out of reach, or a period in your life where it felt like you couldn't win. Well, I want you to share that with us. Drop a comment below about a time when you faced your own Balto moment, when you kept going despite the odds. Did you ever feel like giving up? What helped you push through? Let's support each other in the comments because we're all in this together, right? Okay, now we're really getting into the meat of it. The turning point in Balto comes when he has to take the serum across the most dangerous part of the journey, a frozen river with ice cracking between his paws, or beneath his paws rather. If he falls, if he slips, he could die. The pressure is unimaginable, but Balto doesn't stop. Here's what's incredible. Balto doesn't have a clear path. He doesn't know exactly where he's going. He just has his little claw marks that he makes along the way. But his belief in himself, his belief in his purpose, and his belief in the lives of the children he's trying to save, that belief is what carries him through. And that's what makes him a hero. Not the fact that he's the fastest or the strongest, but the fact that in the face of fear, he doesn't stop. He keeps pushing forward, trusting that his instincts, his heart, and his determination will lead him to where he needs to be. And when he reaches the finish line, when he delivers the serum, it's a victory not just for Balto, but for every person who's ever been underestimated, every person who's ever been told you can't, and every person who's ever faced the overwhelming urge to give up. That moment, when Balto delivers the serum and saves the day, it's the moment when we all realize that even when the world doubts us, even when the obstacles seem too big, the power to succeed lies in our own hands and in our hearts. Now let's take a step back and think about why Balto is still such an important story today. Why is this movie about a half wolf, half dog saving a small town still so relevant more than 20 years later? In today's world, we often face challenges that seem insurmountable. From global crises to personal struggles, we deal with moments of failure, of doubt, and of uncertainty, right? But Balto reminds us that no matter how impossible the journey might seem, we all have the capacity to overcome. It's about finding that spark within yourself, that indomitable spirit, and knowing that you are more than the obstacles in your path. Balto's story teaches us that resilience is not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get back up. It's about persistence when the road is tough, when people doubt you, when it feels like the odds are stacked up against you. Balto didn't let anything stop him, and neither should we, right? So, whenever you're feeling like you can't go on, whenever the storm is too much to bear, just remember, you are a Balto. Duh. You have the strength, the spirit, and the drive to overcome anything life throws your way. All right, guys, that's it for today's deep dive into Balto and the lessons we can all learn from his indomitable spirit. I hope this episode inspired you to keep pushing forward, no matter the obstacles, and to remember that sometimes the greatest strength comes from within. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And hey, share this episode with a friend who might need a little extra motivation today. Until next time, keep running like Balto and never stop believing in yourself. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Listen In with Lindsey. Bye!
Listen in with Lindsey.